means nothing. A man moving in your house, it means nothing. A man calling you his girlfriend, it means nothing. A man marrying you, it means absolutely nothing.
Damn.
But you know what means something though? A man that changes his ways just to keep you.
What?
That means everything.
What?
so so hold on real quick. Let me get this off the joint. Again, let me remove from the studio. So when I heard that shit, because I didn't know where she was going at first. When I heard the last part, look, women, and I know Renee P be up in here, but for some of you women, y'all are the epitome of narcissistic. Y'all are some narcissistic creatures. Y'all really are, right? Because when she says a man that changes his ways just to keep you, first and foremost, let me just say this to guys, and I want guys to think about this. When a woman asks you to change how you move and you capitulate or you acquiesce to that, number one, you're showing her that she's the boss, she's running shit, and ultimately she won't respect you anyway. Okay? Even if it's a subconscious thing, there's something very off-putting about a woman who can dictate terms and conditions to a man and he listens.
Right.
And let me just say this, because I'm seeing a lot of this shit on Facebook where women are talking like this about a man loving them correctly. Let me just stop right there. Renee and any other woman listening, can y'all tell me what the fuck that means? Can y'all tell me what the fuck it means for a man to love you correctly? Hey, girl, you know, it's a flex when a man loves you correctly. What the fuck does that mean? Because, look, all I know is either someone loves you or they don't. All this real love, true love, deep love, I don't know what none of that shit means, right? But my thing is this, and I said this before, compatibility means existing in harmony without conflict. So if you guys have disharmony in your interaction, if you have conflict in your interaction, that means you're not compatible. So if you're a woman requiring that a man changes his ways for you, that must mean you guys are not compatible. That says more about you dealing with that man than it does about him. I got it.
Mm-hmm. The very first thing I thought of was how does she tell that? So to me, there has to be some sort of test that is given, right, for him to show that he changed his ways. And I can only think that might have backfired on quite a few of them, to have this test where I want to just see if he would change himself for me, only just to see if he would do it for them to quantify how much this guy likes them. So, you know, which is a gamble in itself, you know. So to me, it was silly, and I don't mind ladies saying this stuff. I expect them to talk silly until they're stabilized by a man coming in their life anyway. So, you know.
Well, it goes to point out things that I mention all the time. And I'll keep saying it because dudes keep doing it. Stop listening to women.
Yes.
There's really no point. Like we're doing it just for analysis sake, right? But we're not sitting around stopping on YouTube and let's see what this lady has to say. Like it doesn't matter. None of it ever matters. And you're not getting a secret sneak peek into their minds so you can figure out what to do or anything like that. Because typically they work in more than one mindset all the time. And I don't think they actually really know what they want. From my own experience and my own knowledge, I can say that women would rather be the adorer than the adoree. Okay. Yes. They want to be the one looking and adoring their man. Okay. Yep. And this is the most beneficial thing. And we hear it in like a more crude manner when we hear like it's better to be with someone who likes you more than you like them.
Mhm.
Okay, and some women will say it's better to be on that side. Some guys will say it's better on the other side. But I really do think it's better for when the woman is cherishing you more than you are cherishing her, and because that allows you to stay in a clear head and a position of leadership. When your mind isn't all aflutter with adoring someone, right?
Exactly.
And so I really don't think that she knows what she's talking about. And
No.
unfortunately, I think it comes from a history of having poor experiences.
Yeah.
Because after a while, because I mean, think about it. Like you go through a bunch of shitty experiences, you're just going to learn to protect yourself better and better and better as time goes on. So this is the mode that she's at. She's at a position of protection. She probably has layers of armor around her body, around her mind, around her heart. And this is how she feels safe. Now, is it fulfilling? No. But it's better than feeling unsafe, feeling too vulnerable, and not knowing what the hell's going on because the guy has an inability to lead properly.
Yeah. I'll say, you see, you can again, your words, your language exposes you. Like you can tell that she probably moved in with somebody or had somebody moving with her. You could tell that she was probably either a fiance or probably was married and divorced. You could tell that somebody gave her a title of girlfriend. And in all of those situations, she was disappointed. In all of those situations, she was let down. In all of those situations, her trust and her vulnerabilities were exploited. And so she's using the pain of that situation to express an opinion now. But see, that's the thing with women. That's the thing with women. That most of their opinions have to do with something that they've been taught. You understand? They never actually. This is why I say that women have no real identity, because the majority of their identity is based on what they've been taught by men. You understand? The majority of things that a woman, her outlook, her perspectives, the way she loves, the way she feels about herself, her confidence in relationships in general, has to do with her track record with the men that she has been in contact with, starting with her father. You understand? Starting with her father. And so, and with women being emotional, and like you said, Justin, you was explaining how, the woman, she's emotional, but she doesn't have anything of her own, right? So she ends up just showing the pain of her experiences. You understand? So this is why, as men, we have to be so responsible. You understand? This is why, as men, we have to be so responsible, because the fact that they're nurturers, right? That's the part I was trying to get to. The fact that they're nurturers, almost everything about a woman is in reference to something else. You get what I'm saying? Everything about a woman is in reference to something else. Her ability to get pregnant is in reference to a man's decision. The way that she feels about, life and herself is in reference to a man's opinion. There are women out there that deal with uh abandonment issues, right? So it's hard for them to trust, but that's a result of their father leaving early. You get what I'm saying? Or their first couple of relationships where they just got pumped and dumped, or whatever you want to call it. So the thing with women is that it's sad, but it really doesn't matter what they have to say. Here's where it matters. It matters how we as men behave and carry ourselves in front of women. You understand? Because just like when we talk about children are always watching. So if you cuss in front of your kids, if you lie, cheat, steal, or your kids see you, doing something, like if your kids see you eating a grape at the supermarket, they're gonna think it's okay to eat grapes at the supermarket.
Hold
You
on,
see what I'm
hold on,
saying?
Mal. Hold
Yeah.
on. Bro, this is not about black women, white women, or anything like that.
Right.
No,
It's not about none of that.
truly, this exists amongst all women of all
Exactly.
races.
So I'm gonna just finish up. So the bottom line is this: because everything about a woman is basically in reference to something else, we can't be switching up for them, because they're always switching up for us, and that's what makes relationships so shaky and dysfunctional. Because the man is always switching up to keep her, and she's following his lead, and she's switching up. Why the hell do you think women are so crazy? They're crazy because a lot of men don't set consistencies for them. You see what I'm saying?
You know what? was probably more to the norm
Hmm.
is that a man who has standards with every woman. A
Exactly.
man who doesn't is inconsistent with every woman. Now,
Right.
here's the funny thing. This is why masculine leadership is so important, because women are different with every guy, no matter whether he has standards or not. So I said all that to say this: women tend to be, so even if they dealt with two guys who had standards, they're going to be uniquely different with those men based on their level of attraction, their level of admiration, their level of adoration. They're going to still be uniquely different. So women are just by the nature of who they are, they're going to be, there might be some similarities from one relationship to the next, but they're going to always be a little different from man to man to man. But as a man, when you actually have standards and principles, any woman who deals with you, if they had a conversation about you and you weren't there, they should be like, yeah, me too, girl. Yeah. It should be a lot of similarities to how
He did
you
the same
conduct
thing
yourself
with
as a
me.
man. You said what now?
No, I'm just saying the woman should be saying he did the same thing with me.
Exactly. This should be just like that. But Jay Roman, you got something you want to add before I want to show a post, and it kind of goes with the video that we just saw, but I want to show a post. But go ahead.
No. I'm agreeing with all you guys on those factors, and I just think that somebody always imagine like who's listening to this and who's taking this advice and how are they applying it. You
Right.
know, so you got somebody in a relationship that to them they seem that it was easy, maybe seamless, this relationship, and now they got this person saying, hey, you know, all this stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he calls you his girlfriend. It doesn't matter that he, you know, lived with you or moved in, or it doesn't matter that you know, you guys got married, and now it matters if he has changed himself something for you. And now she's sitting there in this seamless relationship, testing him out on seeing if that change happened, you know, just to test how much he likes me. And that's the type of stuff that, you know, to me is when it comes to ladies, that's why you have to have the strongest influence in their life. So this is not, it combats stuff like this, the
Mhm.
stupidity of it, you know, combats it. Instead of her sitting there and saying, oh, I'm gonna try that, she understands that, nah, I'm not doing that because he has a certain influence over me that I don't even need to listen to this type of stuff to even test out this relationship.
Okay, real quick, are we good on phones, Miles?
Yeah, we good on the lines are open. Y'all could call in 919-647-9392, 919-647-9392. Go ahead and call in.
Okay, so I
Oh,
want
and by the way, Miles, it's okay to eat the grapes in the produce store. I'll let you know, when you go to the nicer when you go to the nicer supermarkets. I didn't even know this. I was sitting there looking at the guy. He works there. Was like, hey, go ahead and try one. Try one. I'm sitting there like, yo, what? He's like, yeah. I look around, started looking around, like people try out fruit. Now they don't just take a bite of an apple and throw it back. But when it
Right.
comes to grapes and stuff or strawberry, they try it out. I didn't know that. I had to look and observe and have somebody that works there say, yeah, it's okay. You don't go by and grab handfuls and stuff like that. But
So let's get to this Facebook post right quick. All right. So this individual, I'm leaving up the Facebook name and all of that. He said, it takes a real man to do this. And I would do this to make peace with my woman. As a man, you can apologize to your wife this way. Basically getting on your fucking knees. Now, in this group, in the comment section, there were a lot of women who agreed with this. That a man, if he really meant the apology, he would get on his knees and do this. And there was one woman out of I would say this one woman was probably one out of 100 women who said this. She said, I would never have my man do that. I would never be cool with my man getting on his knees. And I told her, I said, because you will lose respect for him if he did that shit. And she agreed. But there were a lot of other women who said, and if you pay attention, there is no reason given for why this dude is on his fucking knees, right? but a lot of women were saying, yeah, well, if you cheated on me, I would expect for you to beg for my forgiveness. First of all, I'm gonna say this, and a lot of people might not agree with this. if you do something in your relationship, like I don't condone cheating, I'm not with that. I think that's cowardice to do that. But
Right.
let's say for the sake of argument, for all you coward ass dudes that just can't tell women the truth, that you want variety. If you cheat and your woman finds out about it and she confronts you, I think it's weaker to apologize than just to say, yeah, I did that shit. Okay,
Right.
and let me tell you why I think it's weak to apologize. Because you're not apologizing because you mean it.
Mm.
You don't mean it, because if you meant it, you would come to her before she found out, and you'll be like, hey, baby, I gotta sit you down. I did something the other night, and it's fucking with my spirit, and I don't feel right. I did something, and I fucked around and I fucked another chick. If you meant it, you would admit that you did that. But the fact that you got caught up and now she's, questioning you about it and you're apologizing, you're not apologizing because you meant it. You're apologizing because you're trying to do what this dude is saying. Make peace with your woman. Look, let me tell y'all something. I don't condone cheating, but back in the day, I did cheat on some of the chicks I was involved with. And there were times when I got caught slipping and I never apologized. I was literally like, I can't believe you did that to me. I was like, well, hey, shit happens. And then the chick was like, so you gonna do that again? I mean, yeah, probably. that's what I said. Probably. Is that you don't feel sorry? You don't feel bad? I said, don't get me wrong. I don't want to see you all hurt, but
Right.
I mean, I meant to do it. Like I hollered at the chick. I met her at a hotel and I fucked her, and I fucked her for a good while. And I mean, I kind of meant to do the shit. So and this is how I'm talking to her. And she was like, you're such a bastard. And I'm like, I know I am. But I'm not gonna apologize for something that I meant to do.
Right.
I just want, to me, that's fake. But y'all got it, man.
Well, I'll say this real quick. See, when I see shit like this, I try to look at the meaning behind it.
Y'all want me to leave it up?
Yeah, please, if you can.
Okay, all right.
Because I'm gonna make reference to the fact that he's on his knees. You see, the thing is that, again, this is why I know that a lot of the problems that we're having these days is because men don't know their own value. When I see shit like this, my knee-jerk reaction is always, man, nigga, get off your knees. What the fuck are you doing? Right? But but when I look deeper, what it really says to me is, you have to understand how highly women see us. You understand what I'm saying? Think about how highly a woman sees us. Because when they have to, matter of fact, women don't even fucking apologize. They know that they are nameless, faceless, emotional wrecks of human beings that don't make no fucking sense. So they don't even ever want to apologize. But what do they ask for from a man? They ask you to get on your fucking knees. Think about how what a pedestal they have us on subconsciously that they will never even acknowledge. Do you understand? Women know that we're the closest thing to God. Women know the hierarchy deep in their hearts. They know it, bro. So this is why they would want us to get down on our knees to show contrition, because just apologizing regularly is not enough, because we were seen so high up to begin with. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
At least that's the way I look at it. I think for a fact, because let's look at the women that do follow their men. Let's look at the women that do follow the program. Let's look at the women that truly understand the value of a man. You know where those women have us. So when I see shit like this, it reminds me, it instead of just having that knee-jerk reaction like, man, this shit is stupid, blah, blah, blah. No, it reminds me of how much responsibility, i.e. power and stature, I have over a fucking woman. You get what I'm saying? And if men could actually see that, then I think men would understand that this is why we can't switch up. This is why we have to maintain our standards and show consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this guy was already bending his knees before he physically bent his knees. Like he was bent already. Because that has to happen internally first before it happens externally. So that's why he's able to do it, right? Because he's already bent to her will. And now I'm not saying that you should never apologize. Like if you fuck up, you do something wrong, you should own it. And this is part of being consistent. It's part of being a leader, is being able to see yourself clearly. And we're not perfect. We're not robots. We don't run on algorithms. You know, we do make mistakes. We sometimes don't see something. We sometimes make choices that don't fit the situation, and that's just the way it is. And some eggs get broken, and you just got to own it, right? And so I don't think there's anything wrong with. And if somebody does get hurt in that process, I think you should own that behavior. But as far as like bending your knees to anyone, for that matter, for something that you've done is completely unnecessary, because it speaks of like begging for forgiveness, and it's almost it's almost hard to respect someone who's begging for forgiveness. And like I put my woman on her knees often, and it's not done during apologies, right? So like she messed up enough for me to act harshly, and I did not have her on her knees apologizing because I knew she had already bent internally. So why put her even lower, right? Instead, I just bent her over my knee and I gave her a few swift spanks, and that was it. And it was done, right? But it's like there's something about knowing that somebody has already bent, they already have acknowledged that they've screwed up, and either you're telling them to get on their knees or they're doing it themselves, which is even worse. So it's like there's really no way, or I can't say there's no way, but I would say it's extremely difficult to respect someone after they've done this, because you're like, how are you doing this to yourself? And so man or woman, but I get it just looks worse when it's a guy. Like it's just a terrible look.
Facts.
Real quick, LeBron with the 20. Much respect to the fellas. Yeah, there were guys under there talking about you should buy her shit if you fuck up. I'm like no.
No, I tell my kids, like, you know, like if like my son screws up, does something wrong or whatever, and he says he's sorry, I even tell him I don't want the apology. I say,
Right.
I want to see the change in behavior. That's what I want to see. You want to fix it? You want your dad to put this frown upside down? Do differently.
Yes.
I don't care about the apology, like, you know, because that's the apology seeker, that they're like trying to seek something out for something inside them to feel better. You know what I mean? It doesn't really do anything for the contract or the behaviors that are happening between the two people. You know what I'm saying?
It's just words. It's just
Yeah,
words.
exactly. It's the behaviors that really make a difference.
Right.
And right now, this guy's not even apologizing right now. He's begging.
No.
He's begging,
There's no apology at this point. There's a chair next to her. So if you want to be on the same eye level, you know, there was a chair he could sit down. He's not sitting down. He's in a begging position, and she's even looking away. So
I bet if she told him to get like full prostration, you know, like they do like serious religious where they're on their stomach and they get their hands out like this, I bet he would do it.
Well, he's that's the only thing he's missing is putting his hands together and you know, please. Like the only words you can almost put in his mouth right now is please, you know, and she's turned her head away.
Yeah, she doesn't adore him.
To me,
nah, it was anonymous. I canceled.
All right, cool. Go ahead, Jerome.
no, to me, I'm with you, Justin. I always believe that as a leader, you should always set the example. If you do something, to apologize for it. Now, if I was doing something that I know, you know, I really meant to do and might do again, I'm sorry that you feel the way you feel. I'm sorry that you are hurt, because that's never my intentions, is to ever hurt anybody. However, I will continue to live my life. So, you know, I'm sorry for those factors, and I really mean it. I'm sorry for those factors, but I believe guys should apologize when they have done something to set the example on how to apologize, right? Because we're going to lead in all examples. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm sorry about this and why, and then I will go from there about, you know, not making it right, but correcting my own mistake for myself. Because really, if you don't feel bad for your own thing, then there's no correction for you, right? It's nothing for you really to correct, and you have to be honest with the other person about that and yourself about that. But
Yeah.
for ladies, I've always found that ladies, they have a pretty hard time apologizing for the most
Mhm.
simplest.
Hey,
You
look,
know, it's a reasoning, and it's their apologies are kind of funny. Like, I'm sorry you felt like I disrespected you in that manner, right? It's always well, I'm sorry you opened the
I'm
door.
sorry you took it that way.
I'm sorry you took it that way.
Yeah.
It's never, hey, and my thing is that, okay, listen, apologizing is easy for me, because if it's something that I did as far as a mistake, and I'm not talking about the cheating or anything, just an average something like, hey, I didn't mean for that to happen. I'm sorry. I'll say it
Mhm.
quick. Oh, I forgot. Hey, what time did you say you got off? Oh, you know what? I picked you up. I'm sorry. I shoot that quick because that's fixable on my end, something easily fixable. She comes, picks you up late. There's going to be a whole bunch of excuses and reasoning. But the
Mhm.
more I found that the more that you own up to your mistakes and they're following your lead, you'll hop in that car and she'll say, sorry, babe, for picking you up late. This is what happened.
well, that, and
It's-
also, it's not necessarily about the apology. It's about, if you're dissatisfied with something, her being contrite
Right.
Mhm.
about the fact that you're dissatisfied with it.
Accountable
I don't,
for
I don't, I don't
whatever it
need
is.
I don't need to hear the words "I'm sorry." Those words don't really mean shit to me.
Oh, I like them all. I like it all and above. I like all and above. Let me know and then show me the actions, right? Words and actions. Because sometimes
But
I miss.
that's important, because the
Yeah.
title, like no standards, it's like you have to know what your standards are. So for Jay, he needs to hear those words. It's important to him. Zach, you don't care. He wants to see the change in behavior, right? I'm along the lines with Jay. Like I like to hear it. It's just something that rings true to me. So, but if you don't know what your standard is, then it's hard to leave from that position.
Because for some, it's easy to change actions without apologizing, instead of actually going to the person and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry." I want both. I want those words. I want those actions, and then we can go from there.
Right.
And so that's just me.
no, and
on that.
that's cool. And to Justin's point, when it comes to your standard, you should know what that is, and that should be something that's consistent from one person to the next, from one woman to the next. Like me, I'm cool with a chick, but like, all right, if a chick said, all right, I got you, I'm cool with that. So as long as the action follows that,
Right.
we don't have to have that discussion ever again.
But sometimes I miss the action, and so that's why I like the recognition of it. Right. You might be trying to work and fix my favorite meal, but my thoughts are deep. I'm already thinking about next week, how we going to move, what type of money we putting away, where we going for, vacation, what the kids supposed to be doing. Like, I'm thinking about all this different stuff. So you might be trying to actually, present me with something that says, hey, and I'm like, I didn't even see it. So you got to catch me up and say, hey, this is why I'm sorry. This is what I'm doing. Right. Or this is how I'm going to get better. I can catch that. I can put it in my database and say, okay, cool, thank you. And I get over stuff real easy. When I
Mhm.
think it's genuine, it's over with. Like, you ain't got to
Yeah.
sit there for days and, oh, I'm sorry. Like, no. You told me, you're working on it. Boom, it's done. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done with that. So
Real quick, Soulmonger, you asked us at 12:41. Is there a call-in number? The call-in number has been up for quite a while. If y'all have
Yeah.
a question, if y'all want to discuss something that's going on with you, you need
all right,
some
everybody
advice,
that's on their phone, listen up. The call number is 919-647-9392.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And if you have a question, put a Q followed by your question in the chat. We'll get to you. Right now, it's kind of slow today. It's a slow day. I don't know what's going on today, but I would advise you guys, don't wait till the last minute to call in, because we got shit to do. And don't wait until we get ready to get out of here to start asking a bunch of questions, because that's what y'all like to do.
Right.
All of a sudden, you see mad questions coming in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say about the apology stuff. We have to be careful, because with a lot of times when we in the middle of raising kids, I mean, and I never really raised kids, but I've experienced a few things. But it's like sometimes we have to be careful with apologies, right? Because sometimes it's like you do something wrong, you apologize, and then it's like the words of the apology become a substitute or a replacement for the wrong you did, and
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a problem
Yeah.
because just apologizing doesn't mean that everything is all good now. You understand? Somebody ever done something and is really fucked up, and they might have set you back or they might have put you in a bad position, and then so you're still upset or you still feel a way about it, and then they're looking at you like, yo, why you still like that? I apologize. And it's like, bro, it don't have nothing to do with the apology. It's like you put me in a position. You understand? Like you
The
you put me
damage
in
is
a
done. The
yeah, the
damage
damage
is
is
done.
done. It's nothing we can really do. So unless you actually actively working to get me back even or to get me out of this position you put me in, it's like I don't give a fuck about your apology. You understand?
Yep,
And it's like
pretty much.
it's not to be disrespectful, but it's like, yo, you literally, you understand? You already pushed me off the cliff and I'm falling now. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's nothing we can do. So unless you're trying to get me a parachute or a piece of rope or you building a net at the bottom of the pit,
Yeah.
your apology means nothing. And sometimes it's like the words of an apology does not equate to, the rectifying what you did wrong. And we got to remember that shit.
I got a perfect example. My ex's, one of her cousins, she was married and she was away from the house, and her husband was with their 2-year-old little boy. He wasn't paying attention, and a little boy ran out in the street, and he got hit by a car. Now the little boy is still alive, but he's bedridden, can't talk. He's basically a vegetable laying in a bed, right? So,
Damn.
so the father was very apologetic to the mother, but in her mind, and I was with them, and this was years later. At the time, the little boy was a teenager, he was like 18, but he was in the bed. He couldn't get out. He had to have nurses come and take care of him, flip him over, and all that. You know what I'm saying? Because when he got hit, that was it. You know what I'm saying? He lived, but he was fucked up, and they was kind of arguing, and he was like, "Man, how many times can I apologize?" And I remember looking at him like, "Bro, you can't apologize enough." There's no words you can ever say to change the fate of that little boy, because you let him run out because you wasn't paying attention, and he ran out into the street. You know what I'm saying? And because it's your fault. It's your fault that your son is in that predicament. So it's just like what Miles is saying. It's just sometimes you do shit, whether intentional or otherwise or unintentional, and no words could ever rectify what the result of what you did was. Okay, we got to.
Yeah, I had a situation that was I had a roommate, and at the time, lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. One of those situations, had a roommate, and I had lost my job, but I was, romancing to get my half of the rent. So things were going well, getting my half of the rent.
Gotcha.
So, but something happened with him.
609, hold on 1 second. 609, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Oh, we got a call? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, but things was going on with him where he didn't have his half of the rent, but he didn't let me know. He didn't let me know or anything. So here it is, time to pay rent. And he goes, "Oh man, if you got it, I can get it to you in a couple of weeks." So I said, "All right." So, mind you, I didn't even have a job. Right. So I was like, "All right, let me see what I could do." So I got the rent. Boom. Here, a couple more days come by. Now the week is up for him to give me the money. He don't have it. I'm gonna have it next month. I'm gonna double up. Don't even trip. I have the month. Well,
Don't even
come that next
don't
month.
even trip.
Come that next month.
I can't stand that phrase.
Instead of giving me the money, he just moves out.
See.
Oh my God.
Right. So I'm like, hey, you can move out. However, I still need the dough. Like, I still need, your money and stuff. And he never did give me that money and moved out and said, "Hey man, I just ain't got it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
See.
At that time, that sorry meant nothing. It didn't mean anything. Try to get yourself, he could have handled it a lot different. I don't judge people for their situations, but hey, try to get somebody else to come in and move in. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to move in with them, but hey, I can't got it, but I know somebody is looking for an apartment to stay. They willing to pay this much or something. Anything besides just I come home one day and you're moving out talking about, "Hey dude, I ain't got it. I apologize." Well, you put me in a predicament too, because now I'm behind the 8 ball where I got to find somebody to come up with a portion or something like that. So I wind up staying a minute in that apartment by myself, but at the same time, that sorry didn't mean nothing.
All right, we
Right.
got the call.
Yeah, we got to call 609-609. You're online with the Manhood is a Skill Set show. Name, age, city. How can we help you?
What's up, y'all? It's Rudy. What's up, K-Zag, Miles, J. Roman, Mr. Justin.
What up?
How's it going?
Hold on, brother. You got us on speaker or something? You sound kind of distant.
I got the. Oh yeah. Hold on.
No headset, no speaker.
Yeah. Hold on. This better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Hello?
Yeah, we got
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Go ahead.
Rudy. Go ahead.
The first thing I wanted to say was, man, I saw the Real Game No Shirito last Sunday, man. Shout out to you, Miles, for showing how niggas should be living out here. Seeing your woman giving you food while you're on the live. In my head, I'm thinking that's how it should be. So shout out to you for showing that. So anyway, my question today for you guys is, what is the difference between like being confident and being in your ego? Like, how do you know you're believing in yourself, you're confident versus you're just being in your ego?
I would say this. Number one, everybody has an ego. Everybody has an ego. So I would say the difference between being confident and being in your ego is when you feel entitled to shit. Like, one of the things I can't stand, I cannot stand when motherfuckers say, I deserve this.
Repeat that. When you're being what?
When you are entitled, when you feel entitled to something, right? Or you say shit like on Facebook. I see a lot of people, they'll say shit like, I deserve someone who's only going to be with me. No, you don't deserve that. Look, I know some of y'all don't like that shit, but you don't deserve that. Now, if you're fortunate enough and you're that type of person somebody wants to give that to, so be it. But I think when you're in your ego is when you think you deserve shit just because, or you feel a sense of entitlement. Like, you might have men who feel entitled to sex simply because they spend a couple of dollars on a woman. Or you might have women, for instance, they might feel entitled to a man's non-sexual time, attention, and energy just because she, fucked a nigga and shit. I think that's when you too much into your ego, but y'all got it.
I'd say when it comes to your ego and confidence, confidence is real, ego is not. So usually when there's ego, there's like this big ego, it's there protecting something, right? It's covering something. Your confidence is true knowledge. So like, I've been a professional artist for 20 years. I can draw and paint like a motherfucker, and I am very confident in my skills. And it doesn't require a big chest because I know exactly what I can do. I also know what I can't do. So confidence is knowing your limits, but also knowing your capabilities. And it's like a calm centeredness. Ego is there to protect and to try to convince others of something that which you don't believe yourself. So like I told a story about like I also spent a lot of time studying martial arts, and two of my teachers, they're probably the most dangerous men I've ever met in my life. Like one guy, he studied the Eagle Claw method in the Shaolin Temple over in China, and he could literally rip the flesh off of your body with his bare fingers. Okay. I was watching him just tear bark off of a tree, like a young tree, where the bark is hard, not that's like falling off type shit. And we're training in the park. I'm watching him do this. But anyways, these guys, the other guys, like ex-Marine, like crazy waiting for World War III type dude. These two are the most calm, relaxed guys you would ever meet in your entire life. No ego, no bravado, no boastfulness, because just in terms of like combat, when they walk into a room, they know that they can destroy everyone in the room.
Facts.
And it's not like they want to, they just know because they've had that much experience and they know themselves enough through combat, like through taking just a lot of situations, and they just know. They know their limitations, they know what they're capable of. So to the average guy, they're like, yeah, okay, I can fully relax in this situation because nobody has shit on me. And so I think that's the difference between confidence and ego.
All
Does
right.
that help?
That's dope. That's dope. I like the way you broke that down.
I see that in you ever watch like a sports program where they have these athletes, the best athletes, and they go talk about another athlete, and they say,
Mm.
"Man, I couldn't hold that guy," but the guy that's actually saying it is like Deion Sanders, right? So you know, there's a guy with that has the skills that's one of the best football players giving it up to somebody else and saying, "Yo, I couldn't touch him." And you know, to me, that's exactly kind of what you're saying there, where it's you are very confident in what you do, but you do have a humbling aspect where you realize quickly what you cannot do. But it
Right.
doesn't make you become a hater. It doesn't make you become one of those people that don't recognize your limitations. You know, you
Right.
just know what you're very, very good at, what you're excellent at doing. The things you're not, you try to improve yourself. And to me, it becomes a non-issue with the whole ego thing. You won't have one. You just, you know, you're very confident on what you're doing. So
Right. I'll just try to make it as simple as I can. So to me, ego is asking a question, and confidence is making a statement. But Rudy,
Wow, that's a good way to put it.
I would like to ask you, what made you want to ask that question?
What made me want to ask this question? The thing, like, what made me want to ask this question is that I had for example, I had situations in my life, you know, for example, being in the game where I thought, I thought I like knew it all, and I stopped learning, and I also like started reading books on being in your ego and all of that. So I just wanted to, you know, ask you guys questions to like clarify that.
Okay. All right. But there's nothing going on particularly right now, like in your dating life.
Oh no. With the dating life, I've noticed I got like caught up in my ego, like because in the beginning, what happened was like I was on the Bad Boy membership. I was watching videos every single because of that, and I was consistently out here approaching, doing my thing. And then what started happening was I felt like I knew it all, canceled my Bad Boy membership, stopped watching you guys.
Yep.
Wait, caller, how long were you on the Bad Boy membership?
Oh, I was on the Bad Boy membership. I'm back on it now, but the first time I think I was on it for like 2 months, 3 months.
Nice. So you became a master after 2 months, huh? At least that's what you thought.
You know what it is. You know what it probably is. Caller. Let me ask you a question. Caller. Let me ask you a question. Did you cancel it after you got some sex or something?
After I started getting consistent sex, yeah.
See, I'm glad you said that, and I want guys to pay attention, because I actually had a client I was talking about this with, and he says he has a friend. He says, I don't know why this guy is so confident. I've had way more sex than he had. Right? He was counting bodies and saying I had way more sex partners. And I said, your friend has more confidence than you because his confidence isn't about pussy. Yours is. Right? And that's you. See, what we teach you guys, when you talk about the Bad Boy membership, masculine identity, Justin with the Dominance Academy, myself with the Manners and Skill Set, Jay Roman with Jay Roman Way, it's not about simply getting pussy. Anybody can do that. Bro, you can walk out of your house, trip over the welcome mat into some pussy. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's nothing. But what we teach you is, in Miles's case, about your identity. Teach you about manhood. We teach you how to have a foundation of standards and principles. And what happens is a lot of guys, they can get sex, but women don't stick around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason why women don't stick around, I mean, part of it could be you suck in bed. I mean, part of it could be that. But on a bigger scale, what it is women don't really like you like that. Women don't want to give you the best sides of them. The best sides of a woman is not her ass and her vagina. The best sides of a woman is submission. The best sides of a woman is deference, humble submission, and respect. Because women don't show. Look, let me tell y'all something. You can have a woman who had sex with 20 guys, but maybe she only respected 5 of them. What does that tell you? That tells you that the best sides of her is actually respecting the man and submitting to him. So if you're not able to get women to show you that side, then you haven't learned anything yet. Y'all got it.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
There's one factor I like that you said when you said you were reading, right, caller? You said you think you know it all, and it's kind of funny when you think you know it all, then you start to read and you realize how little you know, right? Because there's so much in this world that you still can learn, and like Justin, I just started kind of looking really into and kind of taking some Taekwondo sort of classes and with this older gentleman that's going through Tiger, and I didn't know they have each like a year to master one thing, and the master. And so the guy that I think is really, really bad, he's still learning, which is kind of crazy, right? So I don't know if this is the same thing for you, but the guy that can tear the bark off, that guy
never stopped training.
Yeah, that guy in my head is learning something else, and you're like, dude, you don't have to learn anything else. You're done. Like
there is no done.
You're done. And the thing is, there, like you said, there is no done. There's always a level in which you can continue to learn and grow. And so to me, when you forget that aspect, that's when you're in your ego, when you think you know it all and you haven't remembered that, hey, no matter how well I'm doing or what I'm doing, I can always learn something and continue to learn and grow.
Yep. So caller.
Right.
Can I help you out?
Hello?
Yeah, did that help you?
Yeah, that helped me. And I wanted to add something to that is like the moment I knew I was really in my ego is when I allowed rejection to bother me. Because like I said in the beginning, when I first started, getting up on Lucario, watching the Bad Boy membership, I didn't really have that much experience with women. So it was like I had no expectations because it's like, what the fuck could I expect? I don't know what it's like to consistently have sex with women. But once I started experiencing that, that's when I got to my ego like, yo, I shouldn't be rejected. I have this much experience. I learned this much. I watched this much skills on the Bad Boy membership. I shouldn't be getting rejected like this. And that's what made me. That's when I learned I had to humble myself and always remain a student.
Yeah. So I'm glad you said that. And no matter how gamed up you are, no matter how much knowledge you have, no matter how many women you have sex with and the success with ladies you have, you should never have no expectations. You should never have. And I think part of why guys are in their ego is because you expect shit. Like even when I deal with women, I don't expect to have sex with none of them. That's not my expectation. My thing, first and foremost, if the woman ain't respecting me, I have no desire to deal with her anyway. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the sex. If she ain't respecting me, regardless of whether sex happens or not, I have no desire to deal with her to begin with. But also, if you look at this is both men and women, a lot of people have issues in their dating life because they have expectations. They have a checklist of things they want to happen. And people don't work that way. That's not the way people work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I got it.
Well, this is why it's really important to both have a program and understand what it is and operate from that, because that's what allows things to move more streamlined and smoothly, right?
Yeah.
Versus running things based off of your expectations, right? So even if you have a program, check this out. It's not fitting to expect them to follow it, right? So let's say a woman has campaigned to be with you. She's interested. She wants to show you that she's wants to be part of your life. Great. And then through a process, because you don't want to overwhelm them, through a process, you expose them more and more to your program in bite-sized chunks, and things are going okay. You will fail if you have an expectation of her to follow them. It should be just done on an observation level of just saying, is she following it or is she not following it? And that's it. And then move accordingly based on that information. But if you have an expectation, oftentimes there's this like an emotional fuel behind the expectation.
Thank you for saying that. Yes.
Because if it doesn't get met, now you're going to feel a certain way.
Yep.
And your feelings don't really have any place in your program, right? If things are violated, they're violated. If they're not, they're not. Like, how you feel about them is irrelevant, right? Because that doesn't decide how well things move forward, or if they move forward, or which direction they go. Like, really, your emotions don't play a significant role in your program at all.
So let me say this real quick. I'm glad you said about having feelings mixed into it, Justin, because all disappointment comes from expectations.
Facts.
All disappointment.
Right there. Yep.
Y'all got it.
Yep. All disappointment comes from expectation. That's a fact.
I just want to
That's a fact.
bring-
Yep. So
just to say
uh,
a program, right? And I don't think a lot of guys really understand that the program really ain't for her. The program's for you.
Yep.
facts.
You're just inviting her to your program. And I think some of you guys believe that you're making a program for her. The program is actually for you to remain disciplined, consistent, with you in your life. You're just inviting her to that program in which she should be responding to that. So, like, a lot of times when I hear these callers call in, they're always mentioning a program when it's pertaining to some girl that they're seeing or trying to get or
Right.
dating or where I'm trying to bring her to my program. Well, the program
It should
really
already
is
be
for
there.
you. The
Yeah.
program is for you. It should already be established, running, something that you have been doing for yourself, and you're inviting her to that.
I would say, though, that you can make like an internal program. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you've ever had a job where they have pathways to advance your career within that company, and they have like a mentorship program, and they're like, okay, so you want to get in, say you're like on the sales team, but you want to get into like the marketing side of things, and they're like, okay, well, we have a program here where we can sign you up with the VP of marketing, and you're going to meet once a week, and they're going to show you the ropes, and so it's like a training within the system to advance to other things, so you can grow better skills and grow as an individual. So I think you can, I mean, of course, once she has shown herself that she's committed, she wants to be there, and it's consistent, then you can say, look at things, ask her what her goals are, you can look at where her shortcomings are and things of that nature, and see how you could advance and benefit her, but only if she's the person who's deserving of that attention, because now you have to manage that. Right. So, because the management team that takes you on or the marketing team, they have to now watch you and do their job. You know what I'm saying? And train you and all that stuff. So you can have a program within a program.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Miles. You were saying something?
All right, Rudy. You have any questions?
Yeah, well, like one more question is like, all right, and you guys said don't have, no expectations, and I totally agree with that. No expectations equal no disappointment. But the thing is, though, you guys are always saying when you walk up to a woman, assume that she already wants you, assume that she already wants to fuck you and shit. So, like, how do you
Okay, bro.
at the same time not have no expectations?
That's not okay. I need you guys to understand context. When we say assume a woman wants you, not every woman wants you. We know this. That's more or less so you won't have this mindset of already having a defeated attitude of, you know what I'm saying? That's really for guys who are beginners to just have a mindset.
It's more about about a mindset. Yeah, it's about a mindset.
What am I supposed to assume she don't want me?
Right.
Nah, that's true. I totally.
I mean, have you played sports before? I like to go to the simplest thing, and I know, I kind of refer to a lot of simple things and continue. Like when you take a jump shot, you don't take a jump shot and say, "I'm going to miss this." You take a jump shot with the intent to swish it, right? Swish it, hit the backboard, or however your jump shots are. So my thing is, when you're doing something, you don't approach it in a manner of a negative manner, right? You don't go to a job interview and with the thought of I'm not going to get this job. You go to a job interview with the thought of they would be blessed to have me working at this job.
Not only that, but they're gonna love me doing the interview. They're gonna love me doing the interview.
So when
supposed
you're
to have
approaching a lady, do you want to walk up to her with the thought that, she's probably not going to like me? She's probably not going to want to see me in her face?
Right. Doesn't make sense.
Nah, you're right. It doesn't make sense. I totally understand. You're right about the job interview. Every job I always went to my mindset of, they hiring me. I already know these niggas gonna hire me. And they don't know what to do it, but I always tell myself, oh, well, I probably wouldn't have liked that job anyway. Let's go to the next one.
There you go. Count your 10, man.
It's funny. It's funny how you can't do that with bitches.
Yes, you see,
Mhm.
inconsistency.
And that's why the program is about you more. And that's why I keep saying, like, these cats always, I keep hearing it, the program. I know they got that term from, Miles and Lucario with vetting a woman and having a program, but they almost make the program just for her and missing
Right.
the idea and the point that program is for you to stay consistent, you to hold yourself to a certain standard.
Mhm.
So my thing is that standard should already be set about yourself. Your
Right.
attitude
Which begs
that
the
you have for
question,
yourself.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, which begs the question: what are those standards?
Mhm.
You got to know what those are first
Exactly.
before you hold yourself to it.
Okay, well, most guys don't have standards. They think they do. Just like a lot of women don't have standards. They have dating preferences.
Yep.
And a lot of people let me tell y'all something. If you say, oh, my standard is to date a woman who doesn't go out, that's not a standard, that's a preference. It's not. I know y'all like to think that shit. But a standard is simply this. Do you live your life a certain way based on your personal values, standards, and principles? Do you abide by those standards? So if you do, then it makes sense that if you invite a woman into your life, she must adhere to those same standards. But a lot of guys don't have no standards. They have dating preferences. And that's why you're so flexible with women, because you have preferences. But y'all got it.
I heard Cass say, I don't want a woman to smoke as they're smoking.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all
All
help
right.
and everything. Keep doing y'all thing.
All right, Rudy, man. Appreciate the call, man. Be safe. All right. So, guys, call in 919-647-9392, 919-647-9392. Call in, guys. Please don't wait till the end of the show. Please call in.
Okay, so we have a question right here. Okay, so Mike says, can you give an example of boundaries in the man square and the mindset it takes to create? I'm gonna try to be patient with this question. Let me just say this real quick. Okay,
All right, so let's 980-980. You're on live with the Manhood is a Skill Set Show. We got K-Zach, Jay Roman, Mr. Justin, Miles Cunningham. So what's going on? Name, age, city. How can we help you?
Name, Israel, age 25, Atlanta.
All
How's
right.
it going, gentlemen?
What's up?
Real quick, do you have us on speaker? Do you have earbuds or AirBuds in or anything like that?
Honestly, it might be me. It might be me.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
He still sound like he's laying down talking to us. You're not laying down, are you?
You're kicking your feet.
Okay, man.
My regular
All right.
voice. Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, just speak as clearly as you can.
All right, can you guys hear me clear?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
Go
go
for
ahead.
it.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So I just wanted to chime in on this topic because you guys once again hit a gold mine with this topic. And Kay Zagan, when you talk about, dealing with women on your own terms, I remember you expounding on that like about a few videos ago around last month. And you tell us to apply that not just to women, but to life in general. And what I mean, just the rewards and bounding, it's like everything falls into place. And this is why, also the masculine identity is more important because Miles, when I was able to go in and there's that live chat that you have for the masculine identity membership, I'm not going to go into that because you guys got to pay for that. But long story short, and you even talked about this on a few shows ago with Lucario, that basically your mouthpiece, your masculine identity dictates your mouthpiece. And that's why, when I deal with people or, approach women, it's not like I think, okay, what do I have to exactly say? No, my personality, my identity is basically going to dictate what the words that I say and how I say it, because that's just who I am. And that's why I appreciate what you guys are doing, because you guys even said it at the Game Kings 2 seminar that you can't learn the game without the foundation of manhood. Manhood is the foundation.
That caller.
And without that, that's basically, yeah.
Caller. No, I'm glad you said that manhood is the foundation, because you have a bunch of guys on YouTube. All they telling you to do is go to the gym, get your money up, go to the gym.
Oh, you hung
and
up.
and that's all fine and dandy, but all that superficial shit, right? None of those things have anything to do with a woman actually respecting you and admiring you and her willingness to follow you.
Yeah, he probably got disconnected somehow. Yeah, 980, you back?
So, yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
But I'm listening to you were saying.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that, yeah, man, if you don't have a foundation of manhood and your identity as a man, who you are, what you represent, what you're about, you're going to struggle with everything, not just with women. You're going to struggle with respect from your peers, at your job. If you try to start a business, because you have no consistency in character, you have no foundation, you have no fucking decisiveness or anything like that, you're going to struggle in every aspect of your life. So yeah, the foundation of manhood is and everything branches off from there. Yeah,
Right.
I agree. And also, Miles, you said something too. You and Lucario talked about this about a month ago. You guys were talking about playing the numbers game, not with women, but in life.
Uh-huh.
And you said the reason why you have to play the numbers game is to see how different women respond to the same man, meaning that, okay, how different women respond to a consistent man. And I apply that, okay, am I going to be a consistent man in any situation I deal with as far as like life circumstances, like when things get hard, like for example, when things are going good in life and smooth sailing and I'm who I am I going to be that same person when life, hits hard and has its challenges and delivers a liver shot that
Right.
makes me take a knee like Colin Kaepernick?
Right.
Am I going to still be the same man? And that's what I've been, testing myself on. And I have been so far hitting that mark as far as like being the same person no matter what situation. So that's why when you talk about consistency, I'm like, okay, it's clicking more and more and more. And that's why, hence, the game was never about women. It's about you, because you're the common denominator and you're the constant factor.
Right.
Despite whatever woman comes into your life or whatever job or anything, any new event. So I just want to, tip my hat off to you guys and give you guys, your cigars and everything, because
Appreciate it.
you guys are really the truth. And it took me a while to undo all the YouTube BS that I, been taking in, because when I graduated high school, man, I tell you, I spent the last 7 years now undoing all that. And after being on the Masculine Identity and Bad Boy membership for a year and some change now, it's like, okay, now I see that everything, like even when I go outside, when I'm at, like, for example, I was at work the other day at the training center, just at night, because my job, we have to do some required training.
Mm-hmm.
And when I hear grown men talk about or joke about how their wives put them on the couch, I'm like, holy crap, like everything, this, like, and callers, everybody watching, all the guys on the panel, Lucario, all of them, they're not joking about what they say, because everything they talk about, people being bitch ass and, being soft and not standing on anything, I literally see it unfold, because language does expose you, as you said, Miles. And when I hear, mind you, I'm talking about grown men in their 40s and 50s joking about this stuff and trying to tell me, you want to.
Yeah, he breaking up.
And I'm looking at them like, holy crap. Like this is the real shit.
Right.
Like, I'm not seeing that. This just proves that you guys actually been through the ringer and know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yep.
So,
I'm glad you could recognize that, caller. We appreciate it, man. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's it. I just want to chime in on that.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, man, and thanks for being on the memberships, bro. All right. His phone line was kind of weak.
Yeah, it was horrible. It was like my internet and shit. Goddamn. Real quick, the man mindset, Steve Dedane in the motherfucking building. What up, brother? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
we
cool,
got
cool.
you.
Shout out
Cool.
to Steve Dean. Facts. And then Mike says,
Respect.
did you want to get back to this? Get back to
Yeah.
this question?
So I'm gonna pass it to y'all. Let me just say this about that. This question bothers me because as long as he's been listening to us and shit. First of all, your boundaries are unique to you. They're unique to you. So the fact that you're asking for examples, that speaks volumes of the fact that you don't have any standards. You don't have any way that you operate consistently when dealing with women, and that you are extremely flexible. I'll go ahead and let the men speak on it, and I'll come back. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like, if you knew what they were, you wouldn't have to ask. And the fact that you have to ask shows that you need to do some personal investigation. Like, this is nothing that we can answer for you. The mindset behind it is knowing what you want, knowing
Right,
what your
exactly.
needs are, knowing what your desires are, knowing how you want to be treated. That's the
That's
mindset
the
behind it.
identity. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So but to your point, Miles, if your identity is all screwed up, you got nice guy virus, and you think who you are is actually who you are when it's actually not, and you've never done any deep self-investigation of who you are, then any sort of boundaries to keep you on said square, the square isn't even made of anything real, and then the you that you think is standing on it isn't even you, because you don't even know who that is, and those boundaries are going to be fake. So,
Right.
and it's going to be probably to protect your ego. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be all messed up. So you really got to like start understanding yourself first, and start breaking down, so looking at your habits, looking at your beliefs, your perceptions, and making sure everything's on point first, and then figure out how do you want to be treated, and then stand on those firmly,
Yes.
without any second guessing.
Yes. Facts. Facts.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference between getting directions and asking for advice. And
Mhm.
this right here is you're asking for directions. And the thing is, only you can make you and determine where your boundaries are at. And then you can get some advice on how to hold your boundaries. But first, you need to know where your boundaries are at. So nobody can give you the strongest example, because something that might be my boundary might not be your boundary. So, you got to make yourself up, and maybe you contact Miles here on the masculine identity to help get some advice on how to make those boundaries for yourself. But at the same time, this is not for a lazy man. This path that you're
Yo.
questioning is not a lazy man path. It requires
Yo.
work, and it requires work from not your friends, not your father, not anybody else, but from you. And so,
man.
you got to figure that out.
Well,
That's
it requires
that's some of the realest shit right there.
it requires a lifetime investment in yourself.
Exactly.
And see, this is what a lot of guys want. A lot of you guys, y'all want to actually transform yourself into a man that can be respected, but you still want to be able to try to fuck all the chicks out there. No. Once you become that dude, your dating pool is going to shrink. There are going to be women who aren't going to fuck with you that would have if you were more flexible and you didn't have any boundaries. Right? You're gonna shrink. But this is what, and I love what Miles said, because Miles always talks about quality over quantity. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna have way more quality women to choose from. All the riffraff, they're gonna have already floated away. And you're gonna have more quality women to choose from, which automatically means your dating experiences are going to be more fulfilling than dealing with a bunch of fucking riffraff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just open up and tell you guys, in my head, I have a perfect image of myself, right? There's a perfect image of me that I strive to be. And it doesn't come from anybody but me. And I grade myself on a daily, a weekly, a hourly, if I'm living up to how I want to live up. And I think, you guys that call in and ask about these questions right here, you got to start setting up that image that you have in your head. Now, I'm getting as close as possible to that image. I'll never be done, because I always feel like I need to learn and grow and continue to do that. But at the same time, my grades are coming up greater than they used to be. you know, and
Mhm.
so you got to strive and work to that image. And the thing is, the person who sets that image is you.
Facts.
Man, you know that the part that you talked about, Zach, that this ain't for lazy men, you know, like, and consistency is a hell of a thing. And this is why I tell guys to stay away from motivation. This is why I tell guys to stay away from motivation. And I don't ever, and shout out to Steve the D in the chat once again. He says
Oh,
he
my
says
bad.
facts, Zach, he's listening and bird watching. Yeah. See, the thing is that I tell guys to stay away from motivation because motivation is an emotion that's fleeting. You understand? Like when you feel motivated to go to the gym at the beginning of the year because you have a New Year's resolution, like that's bullshit. You understand? Because it's only going to last a certain amount of time. So what you need to lean into or subscribe more to is consistency, meaning that you make a decision and you make a choice and you work out all year round. You don't fucking do it because it's the beginning of the year. You don't do it because you want a summer body. You don't do it because there's a condition to your reasoning. You do it because that's what you do. You do it because it's a standard. And with that in mind, you have to realize it takes a certain amount of effort to always meet the standard day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. You understand? Like, I'm the type of guy, I put my woman in the car and I take her out. And it's like, no matter what's going on, I like if we traveling and we got a lot of luggage, she stays in the car. I take all the luggage out, I put it on the sidewalk, and then I take her out the car. And it's tedious, it's crazy. But as soon as I start cutting corners, I have to realize that I'm starting to cut corners on who I am at the same time. And a lot of men don't want to really see that. A lot of men don't want to like deal with they might think it's like annoying, or they might think, oh man, well, why do I have to keep doing this? Why do I have to keep doing that? Well, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, but understand that if you're not maintaining those standards, your life is happening by accident. Your life is not happening based on actual decisions that you're making. Your life is happening just by chance. You understand? And then on top of that, you allow the female to come in and then switch up things that you want to do with your life. And just like the woman said, like she basically wants a man to change who he is to suit her. Her being suited changes from minute to minute. You see what I'm saying? Her as a woman, she wants you to change, but every other minute she feels something different. You see what I'm saying? As men, we have standards that we want to maintain and keep the same. That's why we don't compromise, we sacrifice. Right? If it doesn't work based on our standards, then we have to get rid of it. If the woman doesn't work based on our standards, then we can't date her anymore. And so on and so forth. And so we have to maintain, these standards, and we have to do it voluntarily. We have to put in the work and we have to be consistent. We can't be motivated, we have to be consistent. Did Zach leave? Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yep, we got you.
I think you froze, Miles.
Mhm.
You had me thinking it was my shit. I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay. Yeah, it might. Yeah, this damn
But
hotel shit.
you're out of town. You got a built-in excuse. Jay Dizum with the $4. Shout out, fam. Thanks for the insight, gents. Man, that's what we do, fam. That's what we do. We good on calls though, Miles?
Yeah, we're good on calls. Guys, call in 919-647-9392, 919-647-9392. Go ahead and call in.
Right.
We got J88. He said, would you agree that a man should never get down on one knee to propose to his woman? I don't know why dudes do this.
I don't care what niggas do. I mean, I don't care.
If you
Yeah, it's more of a question of what do you want to do if you
Mhm.
get married? Like who cares? But really, it's nobody knows where that shit came from. Like historians debate over how it made it into like modern times in terms of marriage goes, but the whole getting down on one knee was something that knights did towards a noble family or towards a king or something like that, towards a nobleman or a noble woman, showing respect. and and then if there was some sort of like family deal, because that's what it was back then, like for marriage, it was a deal between land and power and resources and all that stuff.
Yep.
It was this guy asking the king's permission. That's why he was getting down on one knee. He was saying, I'm pledging myself to you, and it's not really about her. And
Right.
somewhere along the lines, I don't know how it happened, it just made its way into modern sort of situations where this man is like basically giving himself as like getting on one knee as like a symbol of servitude. And honestly, I don't think that's a healthy place to put your head in. Like, are you going to serve your woman who is like super devoted to you? In a sense, like you're going to be protecting her and things of that nature. So I guess you could classify that as some sort of serving, but like you're serving to protect her. But like to get on one knee, like what that all symbolizes, I don't think that's a right, just, or healthy place to be in.
So let me say this, and it goes back to what chivalry really means. Going back to what you were saying, Justin. Chivalry has been hijacked, and,
Right.
and they made it more about women. But a lot of you guys, it's y'all fault. It's y'all fault.
Yep.
Because if you look at what chivalry or chivalrous really means, it's a nice code of honor, right? Akin to what Justin was saying earlier. But like he said, along the way, as hundreds of years has passed, shit then got twisted up and fucked up, and even the whole getting on one knee thing. I'm gonna tell you, I've been married. I was part of my social conditioning was that shit, right?
Mhm.
But it when you start to actually know who you are as a man, and you formulate your own identity, and you separate yourself from the herd, you know what I'm saying, which is societal conditioning and the rest of the fucking shit, you begin to just say, this is what I'm gonna do. Fuck social norms, fuck societal customs. I'm just gonna do me, and this is what I'm gonna do. Now, if you want to adopt some things that you think are part of how you want to present yourself to the world, so be it. If you got a problem with getting on your knee, don't do it. But I don't necessarily think, I don't have a problem with guys that do it simply because they're still in that conditioning. You know what I'm saying? What's up?
Mm-hmm. I mean, if anything, she's after, shout out to Steve. She's after your name. She's after your ring, your thumbprint, your DNA, your whole shit. So if anyone is going to be getting on a knee, you'd think it would be the woman.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
See, and let me just say this to that. This is
Not
why,
that I want to see that. I'm not
Yeah.
advocating that that's what I want, but I'm just saying, like, logically speaking,
yeah.
who's going for what? You'd think that it'd be more fitting for a woman to get on her knee.
Well, let me say this about that real quick. This is why when the viral videos of women getting on a knee proposing to a man, this is why it's so outrageous to people. Because people are so fucking socially conditioned with the other way. You know what I'm saying? That a woman saying, marry me, I want to be your wife, I want to be of service to you. Like, girl, get off your knee. He should be doing that. And people, their mind is so warped with the way things should be, and it's always geared to how the woman's place and the man's place has been fucked up. This is why you got people saying we're partners. I saw a Facebook post where a guy said we lead together. No, you don't.
Again,
no such thing
two
as leading together.
hands on the steering wheel from the passenger
Yeah.
seat and the driver's seat.
But that's how fucked up we become. Oh, there are no gender roles. Yes, the fuck there. Look, let me tell you something. Shout out to all the single women, right? And in the subdivision I used to live in, I would see single women out there cutting the grass. You know what I'm saying? But when a man was in the house, I didn't see that.
Right.
I'm just saying. But y'all got
it. People who say there's no gender roles, I guarantee they use that Amazon sex position.
They,
You know that one I'm
I'm
talking
just talking about when the chick is right. I mean, he got his legs propped back.
Right.
Yeah,
His legs are up in the air and she's fucking him.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Some positions just ain't manly. I don't.
So
I
Jay, to answer your question,
I don't care
Putting my
how great
legs
the
up in the
pleasure
air.
you get, but it is not manly. I'm sorry.
No.
Guys,
No,
call in
legs aren't going up in the air.
919-647-9392, 919-647-9392. We got a question from Luis Hernandez. He says, when a woman says she was about to call you and doesn't call you, in that regard, would you tell her that's disrespectful?
Why do y'all
Tell
feel the
her.
need to address every single thing a woman does is not to your liking? Especially if this is a woman that you just met. Bro, if I instructed her to call me at a particular time, I'm gonna tell her and then I'm gonna move on and do what I'm doing. If she doesn't call me at that time, my life continues. I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing and just sit there and be like, how come she didn't call me at the time I told her to? That's fucked up. What should I do now? No. Like, yeah, then you're gonna call her and try and check her and say that was disrespectful. Bro, she not gonna care that you feel that way.
Mhm.
Because she already doesn't like you.
Thank you.
Right.
Come
Exactly.
on.
No, you don't have to tell her anything. It's everything's already said, right? Everything's already said without being said.
No
Listen,
response.
if a woman say exactly, if a woman doesn't communicate with you, she's saying, I don't want to communicate with you.
Right.
I got into a discussion last night on Clubhouse about this. Like this dude, he was like all about these social contracts and things like that. And he's like, yeah, if a woman doesn't call you back or she ghosts you or something like that, like she's a coward because she's not upholding the social contract and things like that. It's like, come on. She is communicating with you. She just doesn't want to hurt your feelings because she has no idea how you're going to react. And it's like, they just rather just leave it alone and you'll get the message. Right. And furthermore, it's not disrespectful. OK. And I say this a lot, when I visit the show, people who think something is disrespectful, really what they're saying is that action over there or those words over there hurt my feelings. That has nothing to do with respect or disrespect. Respect and disrespect have to do with structures. OK. It's like the law. It's like you ran the stoplight, you got a fucking ticket. That's respect, disrespect. That's how that works. It has nothing to do with how you feel about it, right? And this is how you lead. It has to do with structure and how you lead. Her not calling you, she's not on your program, so she can't violate anything.
Thank God damn it, thank you. And it goes back to earlier when we were talking about ego. His ego.
Exactly. I was thinking the same shit,
Yep.
Kate.
His ego
It's all connected.
and expectation. Guys,
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you something. It's gonna hurt your feelings, but it's the truth. These women don't owe you a motherfucking thing, and you don't owe them either. Nobody owes. Look, at any given point, a woman can withdraw herself from your life. At I don't care if it's 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 20 years. At any point, if she decides this is no longer advantageous for me, I no longer see a benefit with this situation, I'm out. And let me just say this. I don't understand why guys don't get this. I remember being in high school and women would say, this guy can't take a hint. I'm ignoring his calls. Like at 15, 16 hearing this. And here we are, grown men, and y'all don't get, women don't like confrontation. Shout out to the homie Lucario. He always says women take the path of least resistance. What's the least resistant thing? Calling you and talking to you about the fact they don't want to fuck with you or just dipping on you.
Yeah, that's it.
I got it.
And my thing is, what were you doing to ask this question again? Like, were you steadily in her face? Like, where she seen you was like, oh, I was about to call you. Like, I know what you're gonna say, walking up to me. Like, you should have just been left it alone. You exchange numbers or you gave her your number, leave it alone. Like, be gone.
Yeah.
Just be gone. She catch up, hey, I was about to call you. Then do that. And then walk away. Like, there's nothing to be said. So it makes it seem like you're really trying to steadily go up in her face. And she's, like you said, Zach, she's being nice about it. Oh, I was about to call you. I was just about to call you. And now you're going to say something as corny as, oh, I think that's disrespectful. Just leave it alone, man. Leave it alone. It's done.
And there's no cost either. So like, what's to be gained if you were to call someone up, even no matter who it is, but say in this context as a woman, and you tell her that her not calling you back was disrespectful. Okay. Do you really think she's going to internalize that and be like, oh, hold on a second. You know what? Let me just like meditate on that for 10 minutes and I'll get back to you and we'll really get into this. And she goes home and she's sitting there and she's mulling over it. She's like, damn, I feel really bad. I'm just I'm just like the guilt is just rising up in me, and I've really learned my lesson. My goodness, thank you, Lewis, for teaching me the ways of behavior. My gosh, I got to call him back and thank him, and just express my shame and guilt and thankfulness for him teaching me about myself. Do you really think that's going to happen? No, because there's no incentive to. There's nothing lost. There's nothing gained. There's no fear. There's no fear of retribution. There's no fear of shame. There's no fear of guilt. There's nothing there. So she has no incentive to even give a shit about your feelings of disrespect.
Good.
Crazy.
No, what she's gonna think is, damn, this guy's so fucking sensitive. That's exactly what she's gonna think. And let me tell y'all something. What women will do is they'll just tell their girls about you. This motherfucker is sensitive.
Yeah, and show them the message. Be like, look at this guy.
Okay.
Hey,
cool.
turn Dora the Explorer down. All right.
Y'all heard that shit?
Back.
I'm yelling at you.
I had that song stuck in my head for years.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. Next question. Joe Blast. Tell me, Joe Blast.
What's up?
Okay.
John?
Has there ever been a time when you brothers felt entitled to any woman's sex, whether it was a stranger, fuck buddy, girlfriend, or wife? No, I've never felt that way. I got to be honest. I've never
Entitled
felt
to it. I don't know. Maybe a long time ago. Like I wouldn't say that. I can't remember, but I wouldn't put it past me in my younger years to have some kind of thought like this. But nothing that I could really pull up as a true memory.
In a relationship, maybe, but just like some girl I just met, no, I never felt entitled.
I'm with Justin there. When I was younger, but a long time ago when I was younger, I fell in love with her desiring me more than me demanding something. So I fell in love with the fact that, like, when they want you and they do certain things to get you, they wear that lingerie that they got just for you, or something where they make that phone call and they say, hey, I want you to come over this Saturday. Are you coming over? Are you coming over? Are you coming around this time? Like, if you come around this time, like, that to me started to be the buzz, instead of me saying, hey, I expect us to do this, or why aren't you giving it up? I want you to want to give it up. I want you to be so ready that I can feel it through some jeans. That
Yeah,
wetness.
I still kind of like that.
You ever see them jeans
like
that's wet? Like that's something different than a demand. Like,
It's
and,
hot.
it's
you
that's
put
what
your
I like.
hand on a woman's crotch and she's wearing
Yeah.
jeans and it's
You're
like,
like,
hot
you're like,
down
damn.
there.
Yeah.
It's like it's like well over 98.6, and you're like, damn. It's like slow cooking in there.
You
Like,
know what
she-
it is?
You
She
want
got
me,
fever
huh?
temperatures. She got feverish temperatures in
My
one.
pussy got a fever.
Uh,
My pussy got a
yeah,
fever.
right.
My pussy got a fever.
That's
girl.
right. But it's interesting to look at the word entitled, because it goes back to the expectations, and expectations also is connected to owing. Like, somebody owes me something. I'm expecting a return on my investment. So so when someone says I'm feeling entitled to a woman's sex, it means I've done something, whatever that is, and now I have an expectation of her to return something to me. So, and a lot of times this is done silently. It's not done very overtly saying, hey, I've done this for you, so I expect you to be on my dick. Like, it's never done that way. It's done covertly. If you guys read Dr. Robert Glover's book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, he's got a term in there called the covert contracts. And a lot of dudes with nice guy virus, they have these covert contracts and they think, well, I did this thing, she should want me, or I took her out to dinner and spent all this money, she should be sucking my dick later.
Yep.
And it really doesn't work that way.
Nope.
So it's really... It really is more of a problem even thinking in this way, and like understanding why you think and why you're putting yourself into these situations where you believe you're owed something.
And I hate to use the term, but it's kind of creepy. Just the whole fault line.
Well, because you're the type of guy that might not take no for an answer.
Yeah, like hold on, you owe me. I spent this amount. I spent 200. You owe me, if I spent 199, I wouldn't be like this. But 200,
Well,
that was the limit. That's the creepy limit. I gave.
that's why you see the viral videos of guys flying women out and the women ain't having sex and they making videos, or the woman is at the dinner table and the guy mad saying, "Well, you pay for your own bill," and then you have guys that make videos where women shouldn't be going out with men if they're not fucking. First of all, we know that that's been happening. It's going to continue to happen. Guys, I don't care how many videos you motherfuckers make telling women to stop going out with men they don't want to have sex with. It's never going to stop. Okay?
No.
Let me tell y'all something. It's not the woman's job to tell you she don't want sex or she do. It's your job as a man to ascertain whether or not that woman is attracted to you the same way you are attracted to her. That's your job to decipher that. Stop looking for women to save you from your own decision making.
I had quite a few fly into town for me. I ain't never paid for not one of them to come into town. And there's this one that came into town, and we didn't do anything, and we didn't deserve to do anything. The fantasy I painted in the head, I did not live up to it at all. Because when she came out, I was I had to move cribs, and like a lot of life hit you, but you forgot you made these arrangements for somebody to come into town. So when she came into town, I was like, I'm an honest dude. Like, hey, this is the situation. So, pretty much we at the house this weekend. I know I was going to show you Cali, where I live at, and we're going to go up the coastline and do this and do that. But this is where we at. And so she stayed for a couple of days, and then she was like, I'm kind of out. And I'll say, all right, I'll drop you off at the airport. And that was it, and that's one of those things, like most guys, but, oh, well, you came out here, I'm entitled to, nah, there was nothing I could tell on her end. There was nothing that we talked about on the phone that was lived up to. So, but for me, I'm not going to sit and sweat it like, oh, well.
All right, so let's get to this question real quick.
Go.
So he says, is it bad to not give a fuck about a woman not going on just to do what you want? What? Is it bad to not give a fuck?
I think I know what he's saying. This is how I'm interpreting it. He's worried about what she's doing on her time. It's like seeing other guys. So this is a dude talking to a girl who's also talking to other dudes. And he's concerned about what she's doing. So he's saying, is it bad not to give a fuck about what she's doing with all these other men and just focus on what you want her to do? And I would say, yes, it doesn't matter because she's not your woman, right? This ties in what we just answered. You don't have entitlement to her. Actually, even when she's your woman, you don't have entitlement to her. She's there upon her own free will. You got it, guys.
Then why would you say, hold on, because he says, no, I don't give a fuck about that. Bro, if you've been listening to us, we tell guys to have multiple women that they're dealing with and to not be worried about what women are doing. We already tell you that. So you're asking a question like you don't know the answer.
Right.
Like you
Okay.
answered
Now I see it. Is it bad not to give a fuck about what a woman got going on? Just do what you want to.
Now, here's the thing. Sometimes you might have women that want you to care, but you like, no. I've had women that wanted me to care. So you don't care what I do? No. I don't give a fuck. So you don't give a fuck if I do this or that? No, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Do you? But a lot of them, they misinterpret that as you don't give a fuck about their well-being. No, I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. I just don't care who you're fucking. That's all that is.
Well, and bad according to who? Like so it's like, is it bad to not give a fuck? Like according to whose standards? Like, why are you asking us? Yeah. Like shouldn't you have your own standard of what's good and bad, right? We learned that early on. So like how you want to treat people and how you want to be treated. And then the opposite is weird. So it's like, is it good to give a fuck? Right? That's the opposite logic. Is it good to give a fuck? Is it bad to not give a fuck? It's like, man, determine this shit on your own. Why are you asking us? Yeah. Think for your damn self.
Yes. I will concur with that.
For me, I'm worried more about the influence than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to tell you something, and I don't care if you're talking to a dude or not. I want you to get up and be like, Jay Roman is calling. I gotta go.
Right.
If that's not the case, then there's no need to even ask this question at all. I don't care what else you got going on. I want you could be a riding another dude, and I give a phone call and be like, hey, I gotta go. He's on the phone. If it ain't like that, then you know, you're no longer in my orbit.
Mm.
All righty, here we go. What the hell is this? Is the desire for revenge feminine trait? Yes. Yes. You are an overly emotional male to want to get revenge on somebody. And I should hope to God, I should hope that you shouldn't want to get revenge on a woman. Let me tell y'all a story real quick. There was a story going around social media where a guy, he had met this woman. He found out, like they had just met, he found out she had OnlyFans.
Mm.
So what he did was, he had a problem with women having OnlyFans. So what he did was, he subscribed to her OnlyFans, downloaded some shit, and sent it to her parents. So that way they can see what their daughter was doing. and my thing is, why would you do such a thing? Why would you care? Like, I've heard of guys when they find out that their woman is leaving them or that their woman cheated on them, they'll gather all the dirt that they can on her, and then they'll let her parents know all this different dirt and shit. Like, what kind of bitch ass are you to worry about all that? Like, that's too much, man. So yeah, getting revenge or the desire to want to get revenge, especially on a woman,
right?
On a woman, you want to get revenge on a female? Go ahead, y'all got it.
It doesn't even matter. It's like, even if it's on a guy, like revenge. What? Just think, right? Because just think, fellas, like, what could someone possibly do to make you want to seek revenge? I think the only thing is if you fucked with my kids. That's about it.
There you go.
That's about it. You fuck with my kids, you're done. I don't care who you are, man or woman. I don't care. But aside from that, like that, because what that means is that whatever that person did can move you like a puppet, right? They're basically trolling you and you're just following along with whatever they're doing. So they're leading you by you seeking revenge, right? They're triggering your emotions and causing a reaction. And now you're possibly out of control because now your mind is shifted in this whole thing of like, I gotta get them, and you're not thinking rationally. You're certainly gonna make mistakes, no doubt, and you're gonna end up breaking the law, landing yourself in trouble, hurting somebody or whatever. And for what? For what? Because we know we're not talking about your kids getting violated or hurt. So what is it? Yeah. Probably just your damn feelings.
Yeah, right. and I would say this. We good on calls now?
Yeah, we good.
I would say this real quick, Brandon Webb, because I don't know if you were just asking just a general question or if it was geared towards your desire to want to get revenge on a woman. For what? I don't know why you would think that. I would say this, that the best revenge is to move on with your life. Don't look back. Don't be checking her social media to see what she's doing.
Oh, they love doing that shit.
I've heard guys say, oh, man, the best revenge is getting money and showing her the life that she could have missed out on. Man, I don't give a fuck about a woman saying all that goofy shit. Like, I could care less.
What's that bullshit? Like, the best revenge is what, like glowing up your life or
glow up or some stupid shit like that. Like, man, I could care less.
Cats always think that she's gonna be doing bad.
Yes,
right. So in their head, like, oh, she left me, but you know, I was the one holding her together, and she's gonna do bad and all this other stuff. And then they see her. Then they see her. She's not doing bad, right? She's not doing bad, and then they, you know, oh, she was just a slut anyway. Like, all this stuff comes up, and it's like, no, she might not be doing bad without you, bro. She might not. Who cares? It's done. It's over with. So, and then with Justin, with the kids things, I call it retribution. I wouldn't even put that on revenge. You know what I'm saying? That's you know, somebody touch your kids or something like that. It's one of those moments you're like, all right, you know, that's a starting domino. Like I'm not coming to strike back. We're you know, you have to understand what's going on. I think that's just a retribution for the situation. But you know, I'm with you, Zach. That revenge stuff is definitely feminine trait.
Yes.
And I wouldn't even. it's a sucker. It's basically
That's
you're close to Suckerville. You're showing
that's
your sucker.
something. That's something that scornful women do. That's something that a scornful broad would do. That's stupid to a woman level. You know, I'm gonna go spray paint cheater on her car or some goofy shit like that.
If I can't have her, nobody can.
The fuck out of here. There was another one. I was watching one of these crime shows, and a dude, he went and he had some paper. He went and printed her whole name, the chick's whole name, her address, everything about her, and put in big letters, she has HIV, even though she didn't.
Oh my God.
And he went and stapled it to a bunch of phone poles in the area.
Damn.
I'm like, why would you do all of that shit? Like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an indication that, you know, the thing, you know, whatever the grudge or whatever the issue is, has a hold on you, and it still controls you. You know, like I talk about this. I remember on one of my lives I talked about forgiveness, or what, you know, the meaning behind to forgive, and I think, I mean, you know, it's just a hypothesis or just a thought that I had, but what I think to forgive means is it's kind of like, because you know who you are, you give the person understanding ahead of time. So it's for, like, the word for is like before, you understand? FORE, forgive. Like, so you give understanding ahead of time, because it's like, I can't allow what you do to hold me in the past. So I have to like forgive you in the future for something, so I can't be held in the past. You understand? Because it causes too much stagnation. So I have to give you understanding. I have to understand that you're not perfect before you even do that bad thing to me. So therefore I won't be caught in the, you know, in the stagnation of the situation. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, because the same guy that's like sitting there like, oh, well, you know, I'm gonna glow up, or I'm gonna, you know, show her. You don't even understand that you're still focused on her. You understand? You think, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna do that. So the next time she sees me, I'll be in a better position. So what you're really saying to yourself is that the only reason why you're making your life better is for her benefit. So when she sees you in a better position, not for your benefit. So what's really going on? You're stuck on that person. You understand what I'm saying? You're stuck on that person. So the thing is, you have to forgive. And the other part of it too is not just forgiving or to give understanding of the person, but you gotta provide understanding for yourself. You understand? You have to give yourself understanding, because you're not perfect. You understand? You understand, because remember, you also put that person in position to do you wrong.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yep.
you also have to forgive yourself. You also have to give yourself a certain level of understanding ahead of time, so you're not stuck with your own situation. You get what I'm saying?
Let me say this too. I think, especially from the perspective of you being a man trying to seek revenge against a woman, you it's like you take yourself out of the equation as far as what happened. And this is why we tell you guys to take 100% accountability. Let me just speak on that real quick. Guys, we're not saying that women don't do fucked up shit. Okay, right. We're not saying that. We're not saying that women aren't culpable. What we're telling you, though, the reason why you take 100% accountability is so you don't blame the woman. Because if you blame the woman, you're going to automatically think you don't have no work to do. Right. You're going to think you're absolutely perfect in your decision-making ability if you just point the finger at her. Okay, and it's not to say she didn't do no foul, ill shit to you. It's to say, okay, all right, yeah, you know what? That was fucked up that she did that. But how did we arrive here? Right. Like Miles said, I put her in position. Like there's a saying, they stabbed me in the back, but I'm the one who gave him the knife.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
Or when I get stabbed in the back, why do I feel like my fingerprints is on the knife? Right. Because you put him in position. And so you have to go back. Like all my relationships, I can go back from the beginning to the point where it ended, and I can point out everywhere I fucked up at. Everywhere I fucked up at. You know what I'm saying? So at some point you got to say, okay, yeah, she did me dirty, But let's go back. Should she have ever been a girlfriend? Nope. Should we have ever had cohabitated? Nope. Should I have given her a password to my bank account? It wouldn't have been drained out. So you can look at all the different steps you took and fucked up and say
Right.
all the different things you never should have did.
I think that's one of the how game saves lives, right? So like the guy that has attitude when the girl leaves or something happens where like, you know what? All right, well, I can get another one in. Let me learn from this. He's not hunting her down. He's not going and killing her boyfriend, her new boyfriend, and you know, he's not on no TV show how he hunted her down and stalked her and stuff like that. Because that guy's already moved on with his life, you know. And one of the biggest aspects that you said, Zach, was to learn from everything, every mistake or everything that ever happened to me in my life. From the point of me having a conscious mind to know about it, I know
Right.
exactly what part I played in it and what not to do again for that to happen again.
Yep.
And if you repeat it, you didn't learn from it. And it's just a second exam for you to learn from it. So, you know, it's not just about women, but about life too, that you gotta start looking at it in a way where you don't take yourself out the equation. You put yourself in and you learn from every bit of the aspect of it
Mhm.
and dissect it, learn from it to not repeat it.
There you go. So I think that's it with the questions. Let me double check. Yeah, that's pretty, that question. We'll get that question like that. We'll get that shit. So that's it with the question, fellas. You stopped the phone calls, right now? Turn off the
Yeah, the line.
Okay,
Yeah, I
cool.
cut the lines already.
Cool. So before we bounce, y'all want to plug anything, fam?
Yeah, guys, I'm still doing the spring sale for the Masculine Identity membership where you get the first 7 days for free. So go ahead and sign up. Go to masculineidentitymembership.com and also go to masculineidentity.com where you can get my soaps and my consultation calls. I also do video calls now, and you can schedule those there. So holla at me, man. Go to masculineidentity.com. All right. Appreciate y'all.
All right, Justin.
Yeah, what's going on? Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a good show. And, as always, just check out my website, thedominancecademy.com. I've got a couple of different memberships there. There's a video library membership, and then there's the mentorship program, which also has access to the library. I'm putting up new videos every month, and I've got a number of PDF mini books to download, and I'm working on a full-length book right now about how to be a fantastic lover, but that's going to take a while to get done. So, always just, plug in moving forward and, just check me out on YouTube for anything new that pops up.
Yeah,
All right,
good
Justin.
loving takes a while.
Jay Roman.
Oh yeah, catch us again on Monday on
Yeah.
on the show there with 1950. Of course, on Sunday with Zag and Miles Lucario and Steve the Dean, one of the funniest shows you'll ever see on YouTube on a Sunday morning. I crack up all the time on that show, and some real life stuff on there, man. I think anybody could learn from. So, tune into there, and then on Monday, and just looking at some of these comments, for real, some people be doing some crazy stuff over some relationships ending. So,
Facts.
and I don't believe anybody with some true game would do anything like that. They would let the person go 10 times more. Don't threaten me with a good time being by myself.
There you go.
Facts. Oh my
Let me,
God.
and that's another thing, yeah, because if a woman threatening to leave me, I'm like, shit, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's one less person I got to worry about dealing with. So, guys, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 Eastern, Real Game No Theory podcast. Also, coaching, manhoodtheSkillset.com. I also have, I can't even think what I want to say. Phone and Zoom consultations. Holla at your
Nice.
boy. Thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate y'all. We out.